Norway, the land of the midnight sun. This Nordic nation, with its breathtaking fjords, towering mountains, and captivating history, has long enchanted travelers and scholars alike. But beneath its stunning natural beauty lies a rich historical tapestry woven across millennia. From the first humans who braved the icy north to the modern nation celebrated for its peace and prosperity, Norway's story is one of resilience, adaptation, and an enduring connection to its dramatic landscape. This is a tale of fierce Viking warriors who sailed across the seas, leaving their mark on the world. It is a story of kings and queens, of unions and struggles for independence. And it is a testament to the enduring spirit of the Norwegian people who have consistently overcome challenges to create a society that values equality and innovation. Join us now as we journey through time, exploring the key events and people who have shaped Norway into the remarkable nation it is today. From the echoes of the past to the promise of the future, Norway's history is a captivating saga waiting to be discovered. Long before the Vikings sailed the seas, in an era shrouded in mystery and ancient lore, Norway was a land shrouded in the mists of prehistory, a place where the natural world reigned supreme and the human footprint was just beginning to make its mark. The icy grip of the last ice age had only recently begun to loosen, revealing a landscape ripe for human habitation. As the glaciers retreated, they unveiled a world of rugged beauty, with fertile valleys and pristine waters. Around 11,000 BC, the first intrepid hunter-gatherers ventured into this newly exposed terrain, following herds of reindeer and other game across the vast expanse. These early pioneers were resilient and resourceful, adapting to the harsh conditions with remarkable ingenuity. These early settlers, known as the Komsa and Fosna cultures, left behind traces of their existence in the form of simple tools, rudimentary weapons, and other artifacts that speak to their daily lives and survival strategies, and the haunting remnants of rock carvings. These carvings, etched into the rock faces of Norway, are silent storytellers of a bygone era. These petroglyphs, etched into the rock face, offer a glimpse into their beliefs and rituals, depicting animals, hunting scenes, and the daily life of these ancient people, and perhaps even spiritual symbols. These symbols may have held significant meaning, representing the spiritual and cultural beliefs of the time. Life in prehistoric Norway was harsh and unforgiving, a constant battle against the elements. The winters were long and brutal, and the landscape was rugged and challenging. Yet these early inhabitants persevered, adapting to the challenging environment and establishing the foundations for the societies that would follow. They built shelters, crafted clothing, and developed techniques to store food for the harsh winters. They fished the abundant waters, hunted the plentiful game, and gathered wild plants, creating a diverse and sustainable diet, and slowly began to develop the skills and knowledge that would allow them to thrive in this unforgiving land. Over time, they learned to cultivate the land, planting the seeds of early agriculture. As the centuries passed and the climate warmed, new technologies emerged. The development of farming tools and techniques marked a significant shift in their way of life. Agriculture took root, transforming the nomadic hunter-gatherer lifestyle into one of settled farming communities. These communities grew and prospered, laying the groundwork for future generations. The stage was set for the rise of a new era, one that would forever change the course of Norwegian history. The Viking Age. This era would see the emergence of seafaring warriors, explorers, and traders who would leave an indelible mark on the world. Around 800 AD, a new chapter began in Norway's story, the Viking Age. This era marked the rise of a people whose influence would stretch far beyond their Scandinavian homeland. These skilled seafarers, driven by a thirst for adventure, wealth, and new lands, embarked on daring voyages that would leave an indelible mark on history. Their journeys were not just about conquest, but also about discovery and connection with distant lands. Their iconic longships, sleek and deadly, allowed them to navigate the treacherous waters of the North Atlantic, raiding and trading across vast distances. These vessels were marvels of engineering, capable of both open sea voyages and navigating shallow rivers. The Vikings were not a unified nation, but rather a collection of independent chieftains, each vying for power and prestige. These leaders commanded loyalty through their prowess in battle and their ability to provide for their people. Among them, figures like Harald Fairhair, who united Norway under his rule, and Eric the Red, who discovered and settled Greenland, stand out as legendary figures. Their stories are woven into the fabric of Viking lore, showcasing the ambition and resilience of these leaders. Their raids on monasteries and coastal settlements, though often brutal, were not the only facet of Viking culture. These raids were strategic, aimed at acquiring wealth and resources, but they also spread fear and established Viking dominance. They were also skilled craftsmen, traders, and explorers. Their ability to forge weapons and tools, trade valuable goods, and explore unknown territories made them versatile and formidable. They established trade routes across Europe and Asia, bringing back exotic goods and new ideas. These interactions facilitated cultural exchanges that enriched both the Vikings and the societies they encountered. Their voyages of exploration took them to Iceland, Greenland, and even North America, centuries before Columbus. These expeditions were driven by curiosity and the desire to find new lands to settle and explore. The Viking Age was a time of great upheaval and transformation, a period of violence and conquest, but also of cultural exchange and exploration. The Vikings left a lasting legacy through their interactions with other cultures, blending traditions and knowledge. Their influence can still be felt today, not just in Norway, but across much of Europe and beyond. The architectural styles, languages, and even the legal systems of many regions bear the imprint of Viking innovation and governance. Their sagas and legends continue to inspire, reminding us of a time when the Vikings ruled the waves. These stories, passed down through generations, capture the spirit of adventure and the enduring legacy of the Viking Age. Section 4: The Cross and the Crown, Christianity's Embrace. As the Viking Age waned, a new force began to reshape Norway Christianity. The arrival of this new religion, brought by missionaries and adopted by powerful kings, marked a profound shift in Norwegian society. It was a gradual process, often met with resistance, but over the course of the 11th and 12th centuries, Christianity became the dominant religion. King Olaf II, later known as Saint Olaf, played a pivotal role in this transformation. A fierce warrior and devout Christian, he ruthlessly suppressed pagan practices and established the church as a powerful force in Norwegian life. His death in battle in 1030 only served to solidify his status as a martyr and further cemented Christianity's hold on Norway. The adoption of Christianity brought with it profound cultural changes. Churches and monasteries, centers of learning and religious devotion sprang up across the land. The runic alphabet, once used for both practical and magical purposes, was gradually replaced by the Latin alphabet, forever altering the way Norwegians recorded their history and expressed their ideas. The church also played a crucial role in consolidating royal power and establishing a more centralized government. The era of Viking chieftains gave way to a more unified kingdom, laying the groundwork for the development of a more complex and sophisticated society. Section 5: 400 Years of Union, a Danish chapter. The year 1397 marked the beginning of a new and challenging chapter in Norway's history, the Kalmar Union. This union was a significant political move, aiming to consolidate power and create a formidable alliance in the face of external threats and internal strife. This agreement, uniting Denmark, Norway, and Sweden under a single monarch, would last for over 4 centuries and profoundly shape Norway's destiny. The union was initially seen as a way to strengthen the Scandinavian kingdoms, but it soon became clear that the balance of power was heavily skewed in favor of Denmark. Under the union, Norway's political and economic power gradually waned. The centralized authority in Copenhagen meant that Norwegian interests were often sidelined, leading to a decline in local governance and autonomy. The seat of power resided in Copenhagen, and Norway was often treated as a junior partner in the union. This centralization of power in Denmark led to a sense of disenfranchisement among the Norwegian nobility and common folk alike. The Black Death, which ravaged Europe in the 14th century, hit Norway particularly hard, decimating its population and further weakening its position. The plague wiped out nearly half of Norway's population, leading to severe labor shortages and economic turmoil. Despite these challenges, Norwegian culture and identity persisted. The people of Norway held on to their traditions, customs, and way of life, even as they faced external pressures and internal hardships. The Norwegian language, though influenced by Danish, remained distinct. Efforts were made to preserve the linguistic heritage, with manuscripts and literature continuing to be produced in Norwegian. Rural communities, often isolated from the centers of power, clung to their traditions and customs. These communities became the bastions of Norwegian culture, where the old ways were preserved and passed down through generations, and the spirit of independence, though dormant, never truly died. There were periodic uprisings and rebellions, reflecting the deep-seated desire for self-governance and autonomy. During this period, Norway underwent significant economic shifts. The traditional agrarian economy began to diversify with increased focus on trade and commerce. The Hanseatic League, a powerful merchant guild based in northern Germany, established a dominant presence in Bergen, controlling much of Norway's trade. This brought both opportunities and challenges, as the League's influence often overshadowed local merchants. This period saw the rise of a wealthy merchant class in Bergen, but it also increased Norway's dependence on foreign powers. The economic benefits were significant, but they came at the cost of increased foreign control over Norwegian trade. Throughout these centuries of union, Norway's story is one of resilience and adaptation. The Norwegian people adapted to the changing political and economic landscape, finding ways to survive and thrive despite the challenges. Though politically and economically subordinate, the Norwegian people maintained their unique cultural identity, laying the groundwork for their eventual re-emergence as an independent nation. The cultural practices, folklore, and traditions that were preserved during this period would later become the foundation of a renewed national identity.